Nikon made a big announcement yesterday, an entirely new full-frame mirrorless system, the Nikon Z System. And at this point, most of you probably know all about the 2 bodies and the 3 lenses that are going to be rolling out in the next several months, and then more lenses after that. There are a bunch of websites that have coverage of it and a whole slew of YouTubing photographers like me who have made videos on the topic. So I'm not going to go through all the specifications in this video, but what I am going to do is go through a video that I made several weeks ago when this announcement was actually scheduled. This is something that I have been kind of waiting for and wondering about for quite some time now. Because of that, I have some thoughts and definitely some hopes. There's a link to that up above in case you're curious about the whole thing. But today I want to go through those thoughts and those hopes and discuss if Nikon has met them with this release, and maybe even clear some space on my camera shelf behind me. So, okay, this was my first expectation. I care about how a camera feels in my hands. I have to like holding it, and it has to be pleasant for me to use. So of course, I want to like using the camera. I mean, I won't know for sure about, this new body, but it looks like the 2 bodies are kind of the same. It's just kind of different insides. So I feel like the body's a little bit weird with I don't know, the side kind of looks kind of bolted on, if you know what I mean, but the thing's weather sealed, so I feel like it can't be that bad. And I've always been pretty happy with the Nikon menu system. So as long as they didn't foul that up in this process, I can only assume that I would enjoy using the camera. I'm also kind of cautiously optimistic about the electronic viewfinder. I mean, my knee-jerk reaction was no, but then I remembered that they have come a long way in the last few years with electronic viewfinders. So I guess I'd be okay with letting go of my beloved optical viewfinder as long as the EVF is really quick. I want to know what Nikon is going to do for me that is different than my D500, than my D810, and all of my f-mount lenses that I already have. Okay, I think I will end up talking about this more later in this video, but it does look like there are differences with the Z mount. The ability to have wider aperture lenses, there's a 58mm f/0.95 lens coming, and it looks like autofocus during video is much improved. And I suppose the last thing that I noticed right away is that, it's doing all of that in a smaller package. And as someone who is often out and about on difficult trails for hours with my gear, I can very much appreciate a more compact package. These cameras and lenses are going to be high quality in terms of image quality and probably even low light performance. Yeah, I wouldn't expect anything less than top-notch image quality and low light performance. It looks like they're delivering with both of these. Again though, not a surprise. This isn't something that would make this camera stand out to me among the DSLRs and other mirrorless options out there. But then in the video, I got into my hopes, my own personal hopes for this system. My biggest hope is that the usability of these cameras and lenses for video is improved. To summarize what I went on to say, I need reliable and quiet continuous autofocus during video. Although my heart is still with still photography, video is an undeniably big part of my work as snap chick. So luckily, Nikon's making some pretty big claims about this new autofocus system, on these new bodies. It is definitely the thing that I had hoped to see, and definitely the thing that would really stand out to me to make me buy into this new system. And I'd really like a flip out or a flip up screen to be able to frame up my videos easily too. Bummer. These bodies they have the same kind of tilt screen that goes up and down like the D500 and the D850. In Nikon's promotional materials, they showed the camera with a video monitor connected for shooting video. And that would work here in my studio, but not really in the field. I hope that whatever adapter is available to allow me to use those lenses truly allows me to use the full functionality of the lenses. I actually didn't think I'd really be able to use the full functionality of most of my f-mount lenses here with the Z System, and I was really glad to see that I was wrong. You don't need an entirely new set of lenses, at least for still photography. The majority of my lenses up here, they could still be able to be used for still photography. And then in my previous video, I went into some things that aren't necessarily requirements for me, but would help make the new system stand out from the pack of Nikon DSLRs that I already have. I want to see class-leading video, maybe 60 frames per second in 4K. We didn't get that, but it isn't a huge problem for me at this point. I'm happy with 1080p at 60 frames per second, but I am happy to see that the Z System will do 1080p at 120 frames per second. It would definitely be fun to mix in some slow-mo into my videos. And the camera also has 5-axis stabilization on the sensor, which is cool for video in the field. And what is that new mount and new set of lenses doing for me? Is this gonna allow me to go beyond the quality and capabilities that I can get with the F-mount today? I touched on this earlier. There will be the capability to have lenses that open up to wider apertures, like the upcoming 58mm f/0.95 lens. And then, as an afterthought, I said, I don't want to take a hit on battery life. And after gathering my thoughts for this video, after I pre-ordered the Z7 kit with the lens and the adapter, I checked into this and I delved into the specs on Nikon's site. 330 shots per CIPA guidelines. Not great, but definitely not totally out of line with other mirrorless options out there. But then I saw that the Z7 with its battery will give me 10 to 15 minutes of movie recording on one charge. And I read it again, and I read it again, and then it didn't matter that there was only one memory card or if there would have been 10 in there. And it didn't matter if the body was super expensive or if it had been a quarter of the price. I simply can't work with that. It's not even competitive with other manufacturers. So I'm canceling my pre-order and I'm taking this opportunity to rearrange my shelves a bit, clean them off, and research some other options. Don't get me wrong, my D810 and my D500 are absolutely fantastic for still photography, and I can deal with continuing to manually focus for video in the studio. And I have a fantastic collection of stellar lenses back there to use for my still photography. I have a great gimbal camera with a smaller sensor to use in the field, but I'm looking around. I know I'll read in the comments that I should simply get a video camera. I know I will read in the comments about how Sony or Panasonic will meet my needs. I'm not currently satisfied with those options, but I am keeping my eyes open, so we'll see. So I'd love to hear from those of you that have decided to go for this new system, because you're not wrong. If this system does meet your needs, I'm happy for you. But I do want to know what your thoughts are. What are you excited about? And I think I would really like to keep things positive in those comments today. If you want to contribute to the discussion, I would love to hear from you. Tell me about what you love about your current setup, or whatever you may have on order, or whatever you might be planning to purchase soon. Tell me all about it. And then when I do find that something that catches my eye and my imagination, I'll let you know what that is and why I'm excited about it. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching.